Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's pull up some Java from the lecture starter code, and we'll start looking at our cookie class. So here's a class cookie. Now we usually name our classes based on the object or the instances that we're going to create. You might think, well, I need to name this cookie cutter. No, name it cookie, because that's usually the most important thing, is what we're creating. And we talk here about the members of a class are things that are at the highest level of the body. So for instance, shape and area. The constructors are also up here. This method do and this method byte are all at the highest level of the body of the class, so they are members of the class. Some of these things are data, such as do, such as shape. Some are methods, such as getDo. And here is the keyword static. So shape, having the value heart, is an attribute of the class cookie. Like the cookie, this would be part of the cookie cutter. I don't need any cookies to know that the shape is going to be heart. That's an attribute of the class. On the other hand, do here does not have the keyword static, and so each cookie is going to have its own do attribute. And you will, that means that if I have 1,000,000 cookies, each one of those 1,000,000 cookies has its own do type. So if I want to know the do type, I have to tell it what cookie to get the do type from. I can't tell it just the class cookie. I have to tell it I have to give it the actual cookie object to get the do type from, because they can all be different. And we've seen this with string, string.length. You have to tell it which string to take length of, we've seen it with a lot of those string methods like caret and index of and so forth. We've seen it with scanner, next int, next double next, and that kind of thing. We have to tell it which object that we're talking about to get information from. You'll notice that these, that do and wait, these instance variables, are private. That's the normal way we're going to be writing things. These public static, and you probably heard me say some disparaging words about using static, but static final is how Java does constants. And that's fine, because they can't be changed. So here we have two instance variables, the do and the wait. I want you to add an instance variable for topping. And if you call it topping, then this class should start to compile. I want you to add a no argument constructor, an accessor for topping, an accessor or getter for topping, a getter which is an accessor for wait, keeping in mind what type should the getter for wait return. And I want you to fill in the byte method. How does taking a byte change a cookie? And do a setter, which is a mutator for topping, and a mutator or a setter for wait. And we already have a toString. So I'll let you guys, oh, also in here is a cookie tester. You'll notice that this is not compiling either, but once you finish your stuff, this tester should compile. So I will stop the meeting, stop the recording, and come back and we will walk through a completed cookie class after you've had a chance to work with it yourself. Talk to you in a moment.